Hello everyone, how's it going? Elliot here again. In today's video, we are going to be tackling the PS Vita Let's Refurb. I'm a little bit nervous, I'm not gonna lie. Big thank you to John. So this thing is totaled. The screen is horrendously smashed. I'm not sure if the camera's gonna pick it up, but we've got some big cracks going along there, and likewise on the other side. And it doesn't even do anything. If you go on the top and turn it on, there's a little blue light down here saying, "Help me, I'm alive," but the screen shows nothing. So that's a big shame. John bought this, I believe, for £20, which is a pretty good price for a PS Vita. Besides the fact that the screen is really smashed up, the shell's actually in pretty bad condition. You can see around the outsides here, there's a bunch of dings and little marks and stuff. On the back here, there's some plastic, which is really scratched up as well, but you only see that in certain lights. More so, it's the silver bezel around here that's super chipped up. So, John said to me, "Look, Elliot, I've got this PS Vita that's faulty. I'm gonna order a replacement screen for it. Do you want to show everyone a Vita?" And I said, absolutely. So big thank you to John. And yeah, so this is the replacement screen. I believe this cost around £18. So it's still gonna be a quite expensive repair, but these things fully working can go for up to as much as £100. This is a 3G model. It's the slightly larger model, but it's still a very nice model. So this is the replacement part. So this video isn't gonna be a let's refurb as such, it's gonna be a trying to fix. I haven't done this before, so it is gonna be a case of just learning as I go along. John did give me a little rundown in the pub when he handed this over to me, so I have got a few ideas, but it's gonna be a very much a learning experience for both of us. So without any further ado, let's just change this lens from a wide one to a more zoomed in one, and we shall just crack on. Okay, so I guess the first thing to do is to get everything apart and get it down to the stage where the old one is in this situation, and then we can just swap them over and get going. So just having a look at this unit, you can see that there's 4 screws on the back of the case, 2 on either side, and then I think there's probably some more screws maybe around here. Yep, there's 2 up here as well, and then there's 2 on the bottom, and that looks like all of it. So what I think we should do is get all of those undone first, and then see where we get to after that. So the sort of general rule with consoles, and I would apply this rule to everything that you do, is A, keep all the screws separate. Even if they look the same, keep them separate, and either remember the order they come in, or just take a photo as you go along or something like that. The second rule of taking things apart is don't just assume that you have fully undone it, because often, like we can see on this other replacement one here, there's a little ribbon cable inside. So we just need to be really careful not to just yank things up, in case we end up actually damaging something more than it already is. And also, you want to make sure that it's fully off. This blue light is still on for some reason. So there's some pressure somewhere. I can feel on the bottom maybe. So let's just gently lift it up and have a little peek inside. And yes, okay, so there's a little sort of Lego brick ribbon connector just in there. And then there's also one with some wires. So these 2 cables here, which go to this little black box, that is for the battery. So we just want to sort of lift that off by gently wiggling it upwards. And then this other one you can do with your nail. A lot of people have like little spudges and stuff, but I find that you know the control of your thumbs, hopefully, so you can sort of just feel the pressure. But there we go. That is the back piece fully removed, and it came off pretty simply. So that's good stuff. It also means, you can just sort of set this to the side and you don't have to touch that. If you want to clean it again, if it's like super gross and dirty, then you might want to take it apart a bit further. Something that does stand out as definitely needing a clean is these sort of L&R trigger buttons. So I'm definitely going to have to give those a little wipe before they go back in again. But we can worry about that at the end. Let's just get this piece on. So the next thing we're going to need to do, John said that there's 3 or 4 different PCBs on this thing, and you can definitely see that there. We've got 2 sort of green ones either side, and then we have the blue one in the center. So that is the first PCB removed, and you can see it is now come out, and that's obviously the button controls for the left-hand side of the device. So now that I've taken this PCB out, what I'm going to do is take each of the respective item out of this side of the screen components here, and then give everything a clean because these all are quite dirty, and then I'm just going to put them directly back in as I go, but I'm going to just wait before we move on to this side and just get this bit done and pop into here first. So let's take all of these components out. This right here looks like it's going to be the little analog stick, and these analog sticks are so nice. They sort of feel very similar to the Nintendo Switch. This is it here. It will need a little clean as well, so we'll make sure we do that, but they're absolutely lovely. The other thing we're going to need to do is remove these small little silver bezels because they're not in this. So okay, I think that is it. It is literally just pressure fit in there, and then we'll give that a clean, and then we'll just be able to pop that back into the new one. Alright, so all of these little components are now lovely and clean, and most importantly, dry. I have to say, so far, this has been a very nice process. It's all very clean and organized and everything like that, and you know, there's these little metal brackets that hold everything down, which I really like. Okay, so I put the joystick back in. Obviously it was just those two screws that we took out before, and I have to say the screws didn't quite go in as nicely as they came out. That's probably something to do with the fact that screws haven't ever been put into this plastic before, and also something to do with the fact that this isn't probably an official replacement Sony item. But nonetheless, we have cleaned all the buttons and put them back in. So what we can now do is drop this PCB back in again, which should be quite nice because there's sort of like these little clips in the plastic that hold it in. So as I press that down, it should, there we go. So I'm really impressed with how everything's going so far. We've managed to successfully do one PCB. So I'm gonna go ahead and now work on this side and see if we can pop that in. So with this PCB here, you don't need to push it fully back down again because there is a front-facing camera that we're going to have to slide underneath. So let's just set that to the side. It's all going well so far. Fingers crossed it continues to go well. And what we're going to have to do is remove all of the other components here. So I'm guessing the best thing to do is take out the screws. That's probably the best way to go. We can also remove these little covers now as well, and obviously we're going to need to swap them over to the other shell, so we can just put them to the side. If we start off by just unplugging the power switch. Now a lot of people kick off at me for using metal tweezers and stuff. I think if you're really gentle and you know sort of what you're doing, it's okay. So we've got two screws here which I can see. So they're probably good to take off. They're also pink screws. I'm not sure if you can see that there, but they are a lovely little pink color. So that also helps when putting things back together, which ones go where, because all of the metal shielding screws have been blue. So I wonder now if that is all of the screws that we need to remove. Okay, so I've just discovered this little piece here actually seems to come out. So that is rather important because underneath there's a little screw. So goodness me, be careful with that. That comes out first. And then you can see under there's a pink screw. So we can just pop that to the side along with the pieces, the covers and stuff. And now we want to remove that screw. And yeah, just be careful. I could have easily yanked that out there and we would have been in some big trouble. So I'm going to set that screw to the side. Okay, so I can actually still feel that there's something preventing this thing from lifting up from the top. So I'm guessing if we lift up the camera module very gently, not sure how that's held in. There we go, some sort of clips. Yeah, there's actually a little screw underneath there. So we're going to need to remove that as well. And I imagine that will be it. Then we can just lift this out. Yes, it looks like it is. Set that to the side. And is there another ribbon cable underneath? No, there's not. Okay. Wow. We're actually done. That ribbon cable does actually hook onto there, but I think it came off in that process. So now that everything is more or less out, what we need to do is take a look at both of these different components here and see what we're going to need to transfer over. So immediately I can see that there's these little squares in here and also two little bits in there that aren't on these ribbon cables. We've also got the power switch, which we're going to need to just peel up, I think, and that's going to need to go onto the new one. There's also a little light acrylic tube thing, which I imagine is for the LED, maybe to do with like a data transfer or something. So we're going to need to pop that in the new one as well. And I think that is pretty much our lot. So I'll get those little squares off and we'll put them on there and then we can just reassemble. I'm going to do that whole thing sped back up again and we'll be good to go. Alright, well, that is that hopefully done. I don't know if it works yet, I haven't tried turning it on, but I have now fully removed everything from the PS Vita, the smashed PS Vita I should add. Hopefully you can see those cracks there. The only thing that I haven't transferred yet is just the decal stickers, the barcode and the serial number, which I will do with a hairdryer off camera at the end. Because what I want to do is test if this thing even works. So I'm going to remove this film from the top just so that we can actually see the screen, and you'll be able to see just how lovely and new this thing actually looks. I mean, it's going to be super hard to pick up on camera because of the reflections, so I'm just going to keep moving it. But yeah, I mean, absolutely gorgeous. And obviously, because it was replacing the sort of bezel part around the outside, it really does look like a brand new console. And I think the screen was £18. So an absolute bargain. You can also buy the replacement backs as well. Okay, this is it. Moment of truth. Does it turn on? So if we go ahead and hit the power button on the top and take a look, Uh-oh. Oh my god. PlayStation logo. If you have history of epilepsy... Oh, that didn't last long. Okay, wow, set the date and time. Right, what's the date and time? It's the 18th today, I think. So I've set the date and time, and wow, okay, that's the person who owned this before's screen protector. Or home screen, I should say. We've got a couple of different menus here. We've got some games. Excellent. Need for Speed Most Wanted. Start. Ah, wait, no, you can't play that game. What can I do? I'm new to this. Ah, nothing, literally. Alright, well you can't play any of the games without the cards inserted. It's just a little bit like the Switch. But, I mean, you can see all the buttons seem to be working fine. I'm not sure if that one does anything. I mean, everything looks like it works, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. Hopefully you have all enjoyed this video. If you did, and you're new to the channel, please leave a like. Big thank you to John again for letting me do the honours of replacing the screen on this. I had a lot of fun doing it. I'm definitely keen to pick up a more damaged Vita now and do a little bit more work to it and see what I can do. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.